CBS presents this program in color.
From New York, here is I've Got a Secret, starring Steve Allen.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's Ted Fiorito and his orchestra once again. No, seriously, good evening and welcome to I've Got a Secret. For my next number, I'd like to play the introduction to the panel in 4 flats. First, there's lovely Bess Meyerson. And next, there's lovely Bill Cullen. Next, sitting in for the vacationing Betsy Palmer, Miss Carol Channing. We'll get to her motorcycle in just a moment. And finally, Henry Morgan. Henry, they're playing our song, and that, in any event, is our panel. And now we'll roll right into our game. And after that beautiful musical opening, you all ready to play the game, panel?
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll keep in the musical mood here. Our first contestants just happen to be the saxophone section of Norman Perez's band. So, fellas, if you'll step right over this way, please. Nice to have you with us. Would you tell the audience your names, please?
Alan Ross.
Al McCusick.
John Pepper.
Now, fellas, I know you have a secret for us to guess, so if you'll just whisper it to me, we'll show it to the audience at the same time. Uh-huh. A little more of that, is there? All right. Panel, the clue to our Music Men secret concerns something they're going to do, and we'll start the game right off with Bill Cullen.
Alan and John, is this something you're going to do, a musical thing?
Yes.
Yes.
It is. Is it something that could be done by someone beside saxophone or reed man?
No, I don't.
You're going to play something, is that it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's something, is it going to involve the panel in any way?
No.
Nope.
Has this thing ever been played before?
Oh, yes.
I don't think so.
Not much.
Not the way we play it.
Is it apt ever to be played again?
Probably not.
I've heard it, and I don't think so. No. $20 down, Carol Channing.
Alan, Al, and John, is this something you're going to do tonight?
Yes.
Are you going to do it on this program?
Yes.
Before your very eyes.
On your saxophones?
No, on your saxophone. No.
No, it doesn't involve the panel. It's musical, but it's not on your saxophones. Then you're going to change instruments with some. Are you going to change instruments?
Yes. More or less.
In a way.
Well, we might have misled you when we said not on their saxophones. Strictly speaking, it's true, not on their saxophones, but kick that around for a while.
You mean they're going to do something to their saxophones, but they're not going to play them?
Not what we had in mind, is it, fellas?
No, I mean, what would you do to a saxophone?
I'd throw it out the window.
All right, Henry, let's find out at $40 what you would do.
Well, I don't know that I'm speaking to anybody who would play the kind of thing they played for me, but, are you going to use the mouthpieces? Hello, fellas.
Strictly speaking, we must give you a no. Strictly.
Well, what do you want to be so strict for? Are you going to use the reeds?
Again, to be nasty, we have to say no.
Am I at the right end of the instrument?
In a sense, yes.
Yeah. That's the upper part. Strictly speaking, is what you're going to do, would it be classified as music or more of a stunt?
It's stunt music, I think.
Well, I've gone so, there's nothing left there, is there?
I think you were going to get it later this evening, Henry. $60 down. Bess?
John, are you going to use the bottom half of the saxophone?
No, I think I'm going to use the top half.
Are you going to play without any reed or anything? Is that the idea that you're going to... No. Are you going to have something else added to the saxophone? Are you going to sing?
Oh, no.
Are you going to... Is it important for us to know what you're going to play? Would that help us?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to play something that Steve composed?
Oh, you mean what song? No, the song doesn't matter.
Oh. Are you going to be accompanied by the rest of the band?
Well, this was a very tough one, panel. You want to tell them what you're going to do, fellas?
Yes, we're going to play the saxophone.
But now that may not sound like much, panel, and I'm sure it doesn't. But what they really mean is that all three of the fellas are going to play one saxophone. Right. And in order to understand why it takes three men to play the saxophone, you'll just have to see it. So we open the curtains right now. Here it is. I should point out that you cannot just go out and buy this in any music store, unless you're the Jolly Green Giant, I mean. This thing, it's a real saxophone, but it was handmade, oh, pardon me. It was handmade by a gentleman who is in our audience tonight, Mr. D.L. Hop Lance, the proprietor of the Lance Music Store in Port Arthur, Texas. Will you stand up, sir, and take a bow? There he is, right out there. Let's see, you're going to handle the lower keys down here, is that the idea?
Right, Steve.
In what way does this differ from an ordinary saxophone?
It's bigger.
And you're going to do the blowing?
Yes, without me, they're dead.
I see. And you're going to play in a higher key, is that right?
I hope so.
Standing on a ladder. Could we hear one of the notes again, please? All ashore that's going ashore. What song are you going to play for us?
The Saints.
The Saints come marching in, Norman Paris and most of his orchestra. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen. And... The wonderful thing about it is, Henry, after you're through playing it, you tear up your music and you throw it right in there. We'll be back with you again in just a minute. Don't you dare go away. First, watch this. Carol, incidentally, when I made that little quip earlier about your motorcycle, I didn't mean to be a smart aleck, but I am curious about your glasses. They are unusual.
Oh, I'm a victim of overexposure, Steve. Yesterday was my day off, and I got too much sun, and I can't take them off. It seems they'll never... my eyes got swollen, fried eggs.
Oh.
Yes, just shut.
I see.
So I have to keep them on. I'm so sorry.
All right, no, it's quite all right.
Oh, I'm not...
Is it all right with you, Henry?
Well, I'm not sure she's not an imposter.
Well, I'm sure. Let's get to our next contestant, please. Here he is. Tell the folks your name and where you're from.
My name's Hollis Lane from Vincennes, Indiana.
Mr. Lane from Vincennes, Indiana. Now, Mr. Lane is one of America's unsung heroes because he's the official dog catcher of Vincennes, Indiana. And recently in the line of duty, he was called to pick up a stray dog. Now, Mr. Lane, if you'll whisper to me, we'll show the audience just what happened to you after you arrived to get at that dog. There's more to that, I'm pretty sure, yes. A little more? Uh-huh. All right. clue to Mr. Lane's secret concerns something that happened to him, and we'll begin the game this time with Henry Morgan.
Well, I suppose on a show of this kind, if you're a dog catcher and the dog bit you, it'd probably be your own dog. But that couldn't be your secret. So, is there anybody else mentioned in the secret whom we would know?
Not that you would know.
Where do we know the dog?
No.
You would because you're a very friendly fella, Henry. But you don't know this dog.
Now, did you have a problem with the dog?
Nothing unusual.
I mean, you just went to pick up a dog, you picked up the dog, right?
Yes.
No secret.
No, the whole series is over. Well, you've eliminated a few things there, Henry. $20 down. Bess?
Mr. Lane, did you leave with the dog?
Yes, ma'am.
And is the thing that's unusual about your secret the kind of dog it was?
No.
Was it just one dog?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you leave as you came, fully clothed, no accidents?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you might say there was a little accident. You losing
All right.
the word you...
Did you lose any part of your...
No.
No? How do you know?
A good question. How do you know, indeed? $40 down. Bill Cullen?
Mr. Lane, the old thing about when a dog bites a man, it isn't, but is it possible, excuse me for even thinking this, but did you, in the course of that day, bite the dog, Mr. Lane?
No.
Good, sir. I'm glad you didn't, but I had to go with that. Were you successful in apprehending this dog and getting him back to the pound?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. The secret concerns a difficulty which, for a while, made things tough, but he did his job.
Somebody got on the dog's side and decided to help the dog and keep you from catching him. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Was it a person who got on
Yes, it was a person. Now we go to Carol Channing.
Is it important, this other person, is it involved in the happening?
What? Yes.
More than the dog?
Yes.
We don't know this person, though. Was it a funny happening?
Like many funny things, it was not amusing at the time, but in retrospect.
I see. At the time, it was tragic.
It could be so construed, I would say. Again, a very tough secret panel, and you don't have to feel ashamed at all that you didn't get it. Everybody knows that it's unfortunate, but an inevitable part of a dog catcher's life that he will be bitten every so often, and Mr. Lane, of course, is no exception. But last week, when he went to pick up a stray, he was attacked and bitten, not by the dog, but by the 3-year-old boy who was guarding the dog. Mr. Lane, tell us exactly how it all happened, would you?
Well, I was called out to get this little dog, which was a stray, and it was a small dog, Chihuahua. And the mother insisted me to take the dog, and of course the children was crying, and I said, well, I'll come back later date and get the dog. She said, no, you take the dog now. Little boy, he came up and he said, said, you turned my dog loose. Well, he got me. But,
did he bite you in the backyard, or where exactly?
Well, between the, I'll say the hip and the knee.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I know that dog catchers are bitten from time to time, but have you ever been attacked by a human before?
Well, yes. I went to get a neighbor's dog one time, and neighbor called on another one. She came out with a number on them. I said, lady, it ain't going to rain today. She said, you get my dog, it will be.
Well, Mr. Lane, thanks so much for being with us tonight, and here's something to make peace with any angry children you'll run into in the future. Thanks very much for joining us. Carol, I just realized why your outfit, which I think is very attractive, it's really adorable, looks familiar to me. It looks like the suit that the little boy in the Cracker Jack box wears, doesn't it?
Oh.
Stand up for just a second. Could you stand up? Does that look like Cracker Jack time? Careful. Better sit down there, you Cracker Jack. I want to get over here. Before we meet the special guest for tonight, there's something that I have to do. I want to get these cards from this young man. Our page, thank you very much. At ease. You remember this game, panel? You've played this before. Before we went on the air tonight, as the audience here knows, we asked everybody in the theater to write down questions that they might like to ask our special guest for tonight. Questions about his life, his career, television business, the people he's worked with, anything at all. No holds barred. And naturally, it takes a very courageous man to put himself on the block like that. And certainly, there's nobody in our whole entertainment field more courageous than this wonderful guy, Mr. Arthur Godfrey. Here he is. Well, Arthur, we're very happy indeed to have you with us. We got wheels on your chair there, so you can go all around the stage if you get lonesome here. I have a question of my own before we get to these questions from the audience. Is it true that you are about to make your motion picture debut?
Yes, yes.
In what picture?
I'm going to play Doris Day's father in a movie called The Girl in the Glass-Bottom Boat.
Oh, wonderful. We're all looking forward to seeing you in that picture, but I imagine you're kind of sorry you have to play her father.
Yes, I'm very sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, better luck next time in regard to that. Now, to get back to these questions, panel, as I said, Arthur has just agreed to answer any questions that we have earlier on from the studio audience. But just to complicate matters a little bit, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put you on the spot right along with Arthur. What you have to do is try to predict Arthur's answers. In other words, pretend when you answer the questions that you are Arthur Godfrey, and then you will take turns answering the questions in the way you think Arthur would, not, of course, the way you would. So I'll read the first question here, and we'll start off with you, Bess, and you answer as though you were Arthur Godfrey. Here it is. Question: have any of your television shows gotten bad write-ups, and if so, did it upset you?
Well, I think that in Arthur's long history, I'm sure that one, or maybe a half a show, got a bad write-up, and I think it would upset Arthur. He's very sensitive. I'm being a little serious, but I think he's very serious about his work and sensitive about reaction, and I think he would be upset.
All right, Arthur, what do you say to that?
Not upset, actually. Kind of grateful that somebody took the time to say something about it. Of course, the way it's said matters a whole lot, too. But actually, usually when I saw criticisms of the programs, I would sit down and go over it with my people and try to figure out how we could fix it.
Mm-hmm. Very good response. All right, here's the next question. We'll throw this one to you first, Bill. Answer as you believe Arthur would. Is it true that you are a millionaire? And if so, why do you keep working?
I think, having known Arthur for a long time, I think it is true that he is, and I think it is more important to Arthur to work than it is to be able to retire. I know Arthur financially, I'm quite sure I'm right. I hope I'm not doing anything. I'm sure Arthur could have financially retired a long time ago, but I think rather than having the ability to retire, Arthur wants to work and do new things and accept new challenges. I think that's much more important to him than money, even though I work for him at a time.
Arthur, what's the real answer?
You and Bess know me pretty well.
Okay, here's question number 3. We throw this one to you first, Carol. Have sponsors ever gotten angry at you for kidding them? There's one now.
Now, this is Arthur.
Yes.
Well, I know that if Arthur talks about a sponsor, no matter what he says, my mother will go out and buy it just because Arthur talked about it. But he just mentioned it. But Arthur, what would Arthur say?
Well, let's find out. Arthur,
let's find out.
What do you say?
Well, one did.
We did.
One got pretty sore one day because it was a lipstick.
What'd you say about it?
And I said, if you must wear the dang stuff, this is as good as you can get, and they couldn't take that.
Okay, here's the 4th question for you, Henry. Question: if you're in a bad mood, does it show when you are performing?
I thought we were supposed to answer as Arthur.
As Arthur, yes. You really are.
I've been answering for him.
Yeah, you're really supposed to answer in the first person.
I.
Yeah, and you're the first person to realize that, too.
Yes, but I don't remember the question.
The question is, do you ever listen to what I'm saying on this program? No. The question is, if you're in a bad mood, does it show when you're performing?
I've been in a bad mood when I was working, but I don't think it showed more than 2 or 3 times because when I'm working, I think the audience is tuned in not to find out about how my personal life is going, but they tune in for entertainment, and that's...
Very good answer, Henry. What do you say, Arthur?
Well, I think he's got it exactly right, but despite all of which, on several occasions, it has shown through, and I've heard about it, too.
How could he not have a temper with that red hair?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll answer that question next week, I guess. The next question from our audience is, do you wear makeup when you appear on stage? If so, what? Lipstick, powder, eye makeup? What do you say, Bess, as Arthur?
Do I wear makeup? Only if there's a pretty girl around.
What's the word, Arthur?
I put a great deal of it on tonight because Bess was sitting there, and she knows that.
Very good answer. Okay, Bill, here's the question number 6 from the audience for you, as Arthur. What do you think about the teenage singing groups of today?
I think that in order to answer that, you have to remember that I, too, was a teenager once, and I'm sure people of my age then thought we were pretty ridiculous. And no matter whether I would care to join in with them, I think they have a right to do it, and I think it's healthy that the whole new, different kind of group is coming on. Whether you personally enjoy the music or not, I think they're showing up as a sort of healthy sign.
Well, a lot of old ladies in our audience are applauding there. What do you say, Arthur?
I agree with him. I'm right there with him, and add a little something else. According to the statistics that we get these days, this country is going to be 50% made up of 50% folks under 25 pretty soon. And that stuff that the kids are singing, you better get with, because that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, here it comes. Okay, who's next line? Carol Channing. Here's question number 7 from the audience. Answer as Arthur. To the old redhead. It says, do redheads have more fun than blondes? What do you say, Blondie? Got a redhead and a blonde on this one going.
Oh, Bill Cullen just gave it to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this redhead does.
You want to try to pick that around, or
just finish the sentence, especially with a blonde?
Very good. Have time for another one. This is naturally for you, Henry. Let's see. How much larger or longer? How much longer do you plan to stay in show business?
Well, now that I'm 35, I plan to keep working until... No, I'll tell you the truth. I'm going to work until just the day before nobody wants me.
That's a long time. What do you say, Arthur?
I would like to be able to leave you with just the thing I would like most to do. Mm-hmm. I want to be shot by a jealous husband when I'm 92. And I hope it's Bess Meyerson's husband.
Very good indeed. Arthur, thanks so much. Thanks for being with us. Arthur, again. Great job. We'll be back with you again in just a moment, but let's pause now for this important message. Say, we all reached into the old Cracker Jack box and we pulled out a nice prize. It's a CBS special starring Carol Channing for General Food. Say hello to the General for me, will
That
you?
makes us blood relatives, doesn't
Oh,
it?
good. Well, let's talk about our blood. Good night, everybody. We'll see you later.
I've got a... This program was pre-recorded. This is John Cannon speaking.
On CBS right behind Gilligan's Island. Oh, pardon me.
That's funny, Skipper. I never saw him behind the island.
No, what he's trying to... Gilligan, will you keep your hands off of that? Please, just once, Gilligan. Just for a favor for your old skipper. Don't touch anything. This is all valuable wardrobe.
I won't.
Well, you always say you won't.
I won't.
But you always do.
Skipper, I promise you, I won't.
Gilligan, next time, don't promise so hard. Well, hi, I'm Alan Hale.
And I'm Bob Denver, here to welcome you to the CBS Wardrobe Department.
And I might add that, well, in real life, Bob is not at all the way he appears in the character of Gilligan. As a matter of fact, beyond being a fine actor, Bob is quite a mature, responsible young man.
Thank you, Alan. And over here in this corner of the wardrobe...
Put it down! Put it down, Gilligan. Can't you do anything right? Now, in here, they research and design and make costumes, and they do it with absolute authenticity.
Right. These days, you hardly ever see an ancient Roman wearing a wristwatch.
Now, for example, these Allied uniforms are for a new series kicking off this fall on Friday nights in the time spot between the Wild West and Gomer Pyle.
The show is called Hogan's Heroes, and it stars a funny guy named Bob Crane, getting laughs the last couple of seasons on the Donna Reed Show.
Now, Hogan and his heroes also live on an island, but it's a very special kind of an island. Not at all like Gilligan's. Watch.